In this video, I will reveal to you a new simple and automated and on-brand marketing system that has generated some of my fashion brand clients over 400,000 in a single month. Okay, and the exact system is used by some of my other clients to generate over 100,000 in just 4 days. As you can see right here, this was screenshots from March, at a return on ad spend of 11.48 return on ad spend. And I've nobody seen doing results like this. And as a result of implementing this system, these brands have hundreds of high status influencers flocking to them and creating content for their brand for free. Okay. We're talking high status influencers. Now, because of all this virality, big name wholesalers are lining up to promote their collections for them. Okay. Imagine having these big boys right here come to you to ask you to get your collections on their website that they are going to promote for you for free. It's massive authority boost. And if you want this for your brand as well, you can. It's called the Creative Engine. And it's a night and day difference from traditional marketing strategies that you're familiar with because of its ability to engineer virality and hack authority for your brand. And hence, setting you apart from the competition by a landslide. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a $10 million fashion brand in 24 months using the Creative Engine. And that is without having to raise a bunch of capital, having to work with a single agency, or having to burn out and lose all passion for the baby that is your brand. Because I've seen that happen and it's absolutely horrible to see. And it's a result of being overwhelmed and not having a clear strategy. Okay. Now, some of my clients have used this to hit $29,000 in a single day at a 13.3 ROAS with a clean 45% net profit margin. That same client went on to do 100,000 in the next 4 days at a 11.48 ROAS. What does that mean? They spend $1, they get $11 in return, and it's like 45% net profit margin. So I don't want to confuse you with terminology, but they have already been doing this for a while now. And it was around the beginning of January that we first started testing this system. And they took that system and they just skyrocketed their growth, as you can see right here. And they continue to skyrocket right now. It's showing no signs of stopping at all. Now, you might think, who is this guy? My name is Thijs. I'm the founder at ecomgrowth.io. We help high-end fashion brands specifically scale. And you might know me from one of my white papers that have pretty much gone viral among fashion founders, CMOs, and investors, namely these two. And today, you're going to learn a bunch of things, but I want to give you a sneak peek. Okay, as you can see right here, I got a ton of things prepared for you. And it might look a little bit complicated, but I just tried to make different ways of showing exactly how this system works for high-end fashion brands like yourself. So without further ado, let's go over what you're going to learn today, and that is how my clients magically get an 11.0 ROAS, how to hack authority and become number one in your category and dismissing all copycat competitors out of your way, how to engineer virality, how to make competitor brands irrelevant, and then the new simple automated system that builds authority brands that can be managed in less than 1 hour a day. That makes all these things possible. Okay, we've implemented this for many brands. These are some of the earlier brands that worked with us. I didn't bother to update these nice pictures. I thought they'd look fine for now, but many other brands have started to use this. And the system I'm about to reveal holds some of the best kept secrets on how Skims, you know Skims, True Classic, who have scaled to $400 million a year in like 4 years, bootstrapped without capital, Revolve, obviously, and Jacquemus, who's been the leader of all high fashion brands since recently, very young brand as well, and how they scaled to billions in just a few years. And only since recently have a handful of small, medium-sized fashion brands been able to copy this system into their business and scale past 300,000 a month. And you might think this all looks super ugly, but I thought this is the best way to give you the condensed value that I'm going to bring to you instead of trying to make everything look nice. I'm not in the business of making things look nice. I'm in the business of getting everybody results. Just look at my website. It's unlike any agency website you've seen. It's the most ugliest thing you've ever seen. Okay, so before I go over the entire system here, you have to understand the old way traditional marketing, that literally 99% of the growing, the guys that are doing quite okay for themselves and all the agencies, they are using the traditional marketing system right now, but it's no longer working. It's painful and it costs a lot of money. And I'm going to show you why. So here we have your superhero. That is you leading this brand. You have your CMO, probably, depending on your size, who's helping you out. Maybe you are also doing this. Then you're working probably with a graphic designer or a video editor who's helping you make things look nice on your website. And then to create content, you probably work with an agency, you work with somebody who does the camera stuff, you have to hire studios, rent studios, manage all of these people, have all these people talking with each other. Then you have to find models, get product ready from them, you have to pay them, you have to do all these things to get a bunch of low quality content, okay? I'm gonna show you how your current system, okay, not everybody is using this exact system, but it can give you an idea of what 99% of fashion brands are trying to do right now, and it's not bringing results. So here's the old way. You have to create the content, it takes you 2 to maybe 4 or 5 weeks to create. And it costs usually around $3,000 to $10,000, depending on the amount you invest. Okay, then that content goes to the editor, and that editor takes 3 to 21 days. There's a ton of back and forth between you, the editor, the cameraman, the photographer, the studio, etc. to get everything correct. And this is another $1,500. Okay, now you finally have those ad creatives ready, and you want to start using them for advertising. So now you have to test the ads, and that's probably going to cost you $1,000 in ad budget, and then you have to pay the agency another $3,000 to do that for you, and then you're going to scale the ads, but most of the time you don't see things that are working, and you're left empty-handed with low return on ad spend. You scale the ads at a low return on ad spend for as long as you can until they stop working and you need new creatives. And in this process, you lose more money. And during this whole period, which takes around 2 to 5 months of headache, of work, of sweat, of tears, you're paying 2 to 5 months of operational expenses. Okay, so that can be anywhere from, depending on the size of your brand, 15 to 150K. And here's the thing. You go down in the whole 3K, 10K. This is not even without creating your product cost and managing all of that stuff. But you go down in the whole 3,000, 10,000, then another 1,500, then another 1,000, and another 2 months or so of operational expensive. And you have to pay the agency. And then only here, after like 3 months, you start to see a little return, if any, okay? And then you have your operating expenses on top of that. This is such a painful system because the result is that everybody around you is making money from you except you. And you're doing most of the sweat and the tears and the pain while the others are just helping you out, okay? And then on top of that, because it's really hard to create good content yourself, working with all these people, the content is probably not going to be optimized to be hyper profitable, like I'm going to show you how to do in a second. So what does the agency have to do? Well, the agency is going to have to do all kinds of magic tricks in the advertising system to really try to get those ads to be profitable. So it's going to do all these complicated things, and also it's doing this just to give you the idea that they're doing a lot of complicated stuff, and you need to be paying them, which is absolute BS. Check out some of my other videos if you do think your agency is BSing you and you think you can do it in-house. But this agency is probably doing all this stuff just to fight for 1.79 ROAS, okay? And it's really not a system that is self-growing. And let me actually show you. It has massive upfront cost, tons of back and forth, constant headache, low return on ad spend, not self-growing, 2 to 3 months to see your first ROI, and then you end up with mediocre content. And every time you have to repeat that cycle over again. and you're not building something that is cumulative. And that is the most important thing. When I work on businesses, I want to do stuff that builds on each other, just like this YouTube video, which is going to bring me results over the next year or 2 years, okay? And then this is probably you. Maybe you're a different age or a different gender, but you're smiling through the pain, okay? Now, let's go over the new system. And the new system is the creative engine, okay? And the creative engine is managed by just one person in less than 1 hour a day. And essentially what it does, it leaves out all the work that we previously gone over, and we let that over to other people that will do it for you for free. And we let a part of that work over to systems and softwares that can automate that process without any headache whatsoever. This might seem complicated, but you're gonna see how simple this system is in just a moment. So how it works is, instead of creating all the content yourself, you're working with an influencer who already has an audience, already is trying to tweak the algorithm, knows how to create viral content, already has a nice location and studio to create the content, is already traveling, has beautiful spots to create the content, and then is happy to do that for free in return of getting free products from you. And if you think that is not true, I talked with influencers, they charge $3,000 to get one post. That is absolute BS, and I will show you how you can actually get influencers to create content for you for free, high quality, and that they are willing to do so every single month for you without you having to lift a finger. Okay, now here's how it works. They create the viral content. So instead of having this whole studio, I mean, you can still do this. You can still have your studio shoot once, twice, 3 times a year, but you're not depending on it to grow your business. Okay, so they are creating all the content for free. Takes about 14 days to get them the product, give them the briefing, and for them to create the content and send it back to you. Now, what's going to happen is you have zero cost right here. You just eliminated like 15K of cost, and you're still in the positive, okay? Now, the only cost that you have is sending like the product to them. Now, the influencer posts the content to their audience, and boom, you are $1,000 to $10,000 in the plus, depending on the size of the influencers. This works with influencers that have like 10 million followers, but this works just as well with influencers that have 100 to 500,000 followers. And typically they'll do it for free, and they'll get you around $10,000 to $15,000 depending on their size and engagement, just from their audience. So you already made 10K just to begin with. Now, this content is then being used to run ads, and you don't really have to test it because you know it already works because they already tested it on their own audience. So you know, just from tracking that audience, tracking that post, you already know if it works or not. So you can then use the content that works, that's already proven to work, scale that right away, and those ads usually get a return on ad spend of 11.3, okay? And this process is maybe giving you 3 weeks to 4 weeks of operational expenses. So the result is that you're extremely profitable, just like I showed you in the example, okay? Now, here is the plus side of it. It's cumulative, as I said. It's self-growing and it influences all parts of the business instead of just having to focus on getting the advertising to work. Now, how does that work? The content then gets repurposed, and this is where your in-house CMO comes in. They just do this part and this part, which I'm going to show you very clearly in a second, okay? The content gets repurposed and used on the website, okay? And the website is going to get better results. So all traffic that's going to come to the website, they're going to get better results because you have more authority and social proof because of the influencer content. Then it's going to be used for the email marketing, which is going to work a lot better as well because organic looking influencer content is doing a lot better than the old school UGC or fake UGC or just studio shoots, etc., because it has this authority hacked into it, okay? And then it's also going to be posted on your social media. So it's going to be on Instagram, on your TikTok, Pinterest, whatever. And there you're going to see more followers, you're going to have a stronger account, and you're going to have more authority and social proof on there. So all these channels are going to perform better. You're going to make money on your website, on your email, on your socials, on your ads, and it's much faster, and it barely takes any time from your in-house CMO or yourself, if you just say, I want to do this myself, to run this. And I'm going to show you how that works in a second, so bear with me. So this is how it works. Essentially, we're using a tool and a software that we are partner of. If we help you do it, but you can find your own softwares. There's like hundreds of them that facilitate this process. We just did the research and find one that we consider to be the best. But this software can then help you or help your in-house CMO to find the influencer, to send the brief, and to send the product all quite automatically. And then the influencer, so this is all the work the in-house CMO does at the beginning. Then the influencer, they have the location, they do the creative direction, they do the shoot, probably with their iPhone, or maybe you have a camera boyfriend or girlfriend or friend who helps them out. Then they edit and optimizes the creative. They know how to tweak the algorithms because they are constantly trying to grow their own accounts. And then they post it to their audience, and then you make a lot of money, okay? And the influencer does all of this for you for free, and they're happy to do it for free because they need new clothing all the time to create amazing content for their own. And then the other thing that it is, they want to be part of your ambassador club because that's an exclusive and prestigious place to be part of. Okay, and if you think, well, not for me, well, that's because you don't know how to do this, and there's actually a process to it, okay, that you can figure out, and then that becomes true. But there's a third reason why these influencers are happy to do it for you, and that is what you can use if you really think my brand is absolute bogus, no influencers is gonna create content for me for free. Then as an offer that you can make then is say, hey, if you create this content, post it on your socials, we will run ads on that content on your account. So what happens is you get a ton of new followers, a ton of engagement. This will be your viral post that brings in a ton of new growth to your account. And obviously they're going to say yes to that. And we found that that's the last resort that you can go to because it's a little bit more complicated. But if you do that, they're definitely going to say yes to creating free content. And the other thing is, if you do it through their account, run ads through their account, this is not a cost for you. This is bringing you a higher return on ad spend than if you be advertising on your own account. Okay, so the system is so great. It's just making you profit on all sides all the time, and it's not losing you money anywhere. So I really tried to design a system, find a system, and I found it now that has almost none of the downsides and extremely high upsides. Now, on top of that, what does this have to do with virality? Now, if you work, you can do this with one influencer and get really good results and just keep using that influencer. You can also do this with some of my higher paid clients. They're scaling this up. So they work with 30 different influencers and that is being managed in 1 hour a day by one person that is an assistant, or sorry, not an assistant, that is an intern. So an intern is managing that process in 1 hour a day because it doesn't require any smarts. Okay, you just need somebody who really understands your brand. And they can use that system to do 30 influencers. And if you give 30 influencers the exact same product, then what are people going to see on socials? They're going to see all these influencers that they follow talk about this one product that they absolutely love. And that becomes your viral product, okay? This is a completely different strategy that is optional, but this is, another thing that you can throw on top of this. Let's bring it back to the basics, back to simplicity. Now, your in-house CMO then receives the content because all the content is automatically taken from the influencer account, hosted into their software. They receive the content. The only thing they have to do is then format it, which the softwares that are out there helps you with that as well. And then a new formatting of the content can then be used for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, for your website, for your email marketing, and for your advertising. Now, here's the other thing that's amazing about this, and I already gave you a sneak peek just now, but that is that on the advertising, you can then do collab ads or paid partnerships and Spark ads. Okay, if you don't know what Spark ads is, it's ads that you run, as I said, through the account of the creator. So it looks super natural. It looks like an organic post that they're just going to see in their feed. And after 3 seconds, the call to action and a button and a link to your website will appear. Okay, so that really, I mean, this is the most profitable TikTok ads that you can run because they're organic. People know they're organic because it comes from the influencer's account, and it has like great content, viral content worked into it, okay? And the same works for meta ads. If you don't want to do TikTok ads, you can simply have like the paid partnerships and run it through the account of the influencer that you work with, okay? And typically, Spark ads and paid partnerships do 25% higher in return on ad spend than general company accounts. And that is the beauty of this system. Now, I'm going to show you a visual that brings it more into perspective, okay? Because you think, how I'm going to use this for my email and my website and my ads. So you have your influencer management hub. This hub will allow you to find the influencers, then to compare them in terms of engagement, what is their following like, what is their location of their followers, etc. All important information that you need to know before working with an influencer. That's also where traditional influencer marketing goes wrong, because people work with influencers that they don't have any data on if it's going to work or not. Then you need to brief the influencer, and then you need to manage the influencer. The software helps you automatically give the product to the influencer, and then you need to track the results, obviously. Now, what's going to happen is you get the content and it brings in improved ad performance. And if you use content with influencers, other influencers see it and they'll be more likely to respond to it, as I showed you with this. One viral ad can naturally get you hundreds of comments from influencers like these, okay? But more importantly, you can then use it on your website. I've just taken an example from Nothing Something, and they do this very smart, where you can show in the wild, where they show the influencers posting the jeans that they're selling or the pants that they're selling on the product page, giving that extra authority, social proof, extra room to show how it fits, the different fits that are possible, what is the style, who is this for. This is all very nice visualized in the website, okay? And what we saw with the clients when we started doing this, their conversion rate started to increase and the average order value started to increase as well. Because once this trust is here and they recognize some of the faces, or they come from organically from the account of the influencers, there's so much trust. The people don't have to like try it out with one product or two products. No, the customers instantly buy a ton more products at once because the trust is already established, okay? And why is this important? I just want to briefly show this diagram. Why do you want to increase your conversion rate and average order value? Very simple. Look at this. So you have your ad cost, which is like this part, and your fixed cost. Then you have variable costs. So the more product you sell, the more cost of goods, for example, you're going to be making. And then this is left for profit. But if you double your conversion rate and average order value, like the combination of the two, which is revenue per user, more on that later, then your ad costs stay the same. Your variable cost doubles, but your profit quadruples. Why is that? Well, let's say you double your conversion rate, you double your revenue, okay? That is how the math works. But your ad cost stays the same, so this leaves you with a lot more profit, and this is why my clients are being so extremely profitable. Just want to give you that quick example. Now, obviously, you're going to get a stronger social presence. You're going to get a ton more followers. Here's an example of God Save Queens. Their reels that the influencers create, they don't create them themselves. The influencers create it for them. And these reels constantly go viral. So it's 1.8 million views here, 300K, 250, 300,000. And if you scroll back on their account, you'll see tons and tons of influencer posts that have more than 2 million views because they know how to hack the system. And you might say, Thijs, why do you constantly show examples of swimwear, lingerie, underwear, etc.? That is because most of my clients are in these niches, so it's most relevant for my audience probably as well. But this works for any other niche or category, okay? And another example is Klaviyo. So if you don't know what to post or how to keep campaigns profitable and how to make them work, it's super simple. If you have a ton of influencer content, you can simply post that content like is shown in this example, have a headline and maybe 2 or 3 lines of copy with a button and a link to the Instagram, and that's it. And campaigns like these, they do so much better than the traditional Klaviyo campaigns where you need to do a lot of work, a lot of formatting, etc. This stuff is a template that you can keep using whenever you get new influencer content. You just change out the pictures and change out some of the text and you're done. And these campaigns do so much better because it constantly shows that a ton of other influencers, people that they are looking up to, are creating beautiful content, are looking good, are feeling good. So this really builds your brand authority, okay? And as you can see, they are heavily growing their sales attributed from Klaviyo using this system, okay? Now, again, one last example. Influencer creates viral content, increased website conversion rate, increased email profit, stronger social presence, and improved ad performance. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, how you can make 30,000 in a single day when you're doing your product launch, or how you're making 100,000 in just 4 days, or how you can scale to 400,000 a month. And there's countless of other examples, but I'm gonna leave you to it. I highly suggest you check out the previous video that I made where I give a little bit of an update. And next week, I'm gonna show you a more in-depth version on how you can implement the creative engine into your business. Now, if you want help with this system, go below this video. There's a link where you can actually book a time to speak with myself, where we can find if you're a fit, and if you're a fit and we think we can help you, then we can get started right away. So it's super simple, and see you later.